Hey bub, don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Welcome back to the X-Centric Collector channel. I'm Talent, the X-Centric Collector, and today we're going to be covering Uncanny X-Force Deathlok. Let's get into it.
Cerebro Online.
Cerebro, pull up file Uncanny X-Force Deathlok 2019.
Accessing file. Deathlok 80th Anniversary X-Force Wave 2019. Retail price $19.99. Accessories 3 guns, bullet chain.
When this figure came out all the way back in 2019, I really didn't have too much of an interest in picking him up, and it's not because I don't like Deathlok, because I really do. I think he looks awesome. But I didn't think that we were going to actually get to complete Uncanny X-Force, so I didn't see the need to pick him up. It wasn't until they announced Uncanny X-Force Nightcrawler that I realized there's a good chance we're going to get a lot more Uncanny X-Force figures. And man, was I right. Not only did we get Nightcrawler, but we also got Warpath and X-23 updated and Uncanny X-Force Archangel. Deathlok came with 3 guns and a bullet chain for the minigun. There's some really cool artwork on the sides and a very detailed picture of the figure on the back of the box. There's also a blurb that reads, "The X-Force joins with a rogue Deathlok unit to face off against an army of Deathlok cyborgs." Let's take a look at Deathlok out of the package.
All right, here we are with Deathlok, and to be more specific, X-Force Deathlok. Now, if I'm being totally honest with you, I was not going to get this figure. And then they announced that they were doing an X-Force Nightcrawler, and if you are familiar with that series, they all wore these kind of dark blue or grayish outfits. And I'm not super familiar with Deathlok as far as the character goes. I always thought it was just one guy, but it turns out it's a whole group of them they're just soldiers known as Deathlok. And one of them ended up defecting and joining X-Force. And after getting this figure, let's take a look, like a real close look. I am super pleased. He is awesome. I always thought he looked awesome, but I'm like, do I really need Deathlok? And then when they were like, oh, we're coming out with more X-Force figures, I'm like, yeah, I gotta get him. Gotta get him. Unless they upgrade him, this is going to be a nice addition to that team. Look at the gun he comes with. He also comes with this shotgun. This has come with several figures. It's not a bad looking gun, but yeah, I prefer the Gatling gun. This is a fantastic piece. The chain, the bullets, his articulation. I'm not going to mess with him too much because it's pretty simple. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees, rockers, and yeah, everything is pretty standard on this, except, you know, this is an older figure, so he's got pins. And he is an older figure, so like already you can see, I don't want to move it too much because these older figures tend to get loose if you work them too much. So I'm not really going to work him too much. I wouldn't say that's a complaint. It's just something we had to deal with older figures. But yeah, he looks awesome. The articulation is not bad, but once you get him into a pose, you're going to want to, you know, not mess with it too much. You're just going to want to kind of keep him in that pose. But he's going to be great addition to X-Force. Very excited to have him. And I think he's a slept-on figure. You know? He just... Oh, yeah, he's got... I put another gun in his little holster there. But yeah, he looks great. Let's get into Deathlok.
Deathlok, first appearance, Wolverine Weapon X number 11, 2010, created by Jason Aaron, writer, Ron Garney, artist.
A version of Deathlok first appeared in Astonishing Tales number 25 in 1974. He was created by Rich Buckler That Deathlok was named Luther Manning. However, there have been multiple Deathloks over the years, and the one we're going to be covering first appeared in Wolverine Weapon X, number 11 in 2010. The Deathlok cyborgs are people who have died and are reanimated with the Deathlok technology. This particular Deathlok is known as Deathlok Prime. He's from an alternate future where Roxxon has taken over the world using a Deathlok army. Roxxon is the company that makes the Deathlok units. This particular unit was made using the body of a homicidal maniac, and they gave the computer side of his mind full control. He was sent back in time to ensure that this future would come to pass. However, he happens upon the Uncanny X-Force and joined their ranks to defeat Father. Father was a scientist working on a secret robotics project funded by the Weapons Plus UK program. After defeating Father, he mainly remained in X-Force's headquarters until they dissolved. After that, he joined Jean Grey's school as a guest lecturer, but since then we haven't seen much of him, which is a shame because he's a powerhouse of a character. And speaking of powers, let's check out his powers and abilities.
Powers and abilities: superhuman strength, speed, stamina, durability, agility and reflexes, laser claws, repulsor blast, molecular acid, teleportation, scanning and targeting sensors, tachyon transmitter, tachyon probability generator.
Being a cyborg, all of his powers and abilities come from the Deathlok technology. He has superhuman strength, speed, stamina, durability, agility, and reflexes. He also has laser claws, a repulsor blaster, molecular acid, and the capability to teleport. He has advanced scanning and targeting sensors. He also has a tachyon transmitter and a probability generator. The tachyon probability generator can be used to predict accurately statistical forecasts of probable futures. When you look at most of these powers, you can basically say he's like an advanced sentinel that still has biological components, but the probability generator definitely sets him apart. It's almost like having precognition, where you're able to predict future events. Let's see how these powers rank on the grid. Cerebro, please pull up the power grid.
Accessing power grid. Analyzing subject.
You can find these grids on the backs of various Marvel trading cards, as well as on marvel.fandom.com. Our first category is strength. He's at a 4, world record bench press strength. His cybernetic implants and hydraulics give him some immense strength, capable of lifting about 10 tons. Our next category is intelligence. He's at a 3, above average intelligence. He has a higher IQ than your average individual. I don't know if that's because of who he was before becoming a cyborg, or if his cybernetics grant him above average intelligence. But either way, he's one smart cyborg. Moving on to speed. He's at another 3, but also, he has the capability of going all the way up to a 7. So basically, his cybernetics give him superhuman speed. He's capable of running up to 115 miles an hour. However, he can equip a teleporting device, which would grant him speeds above light speed, instantaneous travel via teleportation. Next up is fighting ability. He is at a whopping 7. He is at an invincible level. His cybernetic programming has equipped him with an incredibly wide range of fighting abilities, making him a devastating hand-to-hand combatant. If you ever find yourself going up against a Deathlok unit, you're going to want to keep your distance and attack from very far away. Going toe-to-toe with one of these most likely isn't going to end well. And our next category is durability. He's at a 4, enhanced human level. And of course, that's exactly what he is, a cyborg, an enhanced human. He's somewhat difficult to permanently injure. His bodily tissue is more resistant to physical injury than an ordinary human is capable of withstanding. He can withstand great impact forces that would cripple or kill an ordinary human with only mild discomfort. Due to most of his skeletal system being replaced with hydraulics and steel, his bones are far more resistant to fracture or breakage than an ordinary human's. And for our next category, agility, he's at a 4, peak human agility, significantly above average. Deathlok's agility, balance, and bodily coordination are enhanced to levels that are about 5 times that of the finest human athletes. And for our final category, energy projection, he's ranking in at a 4, Patriot missile level. As I stated earlier, he has the ability to shoot a concussive blast via a repulsor blaster that can do massive damage. He's often seen using an array of weaponry, but when push comes to shove, even when he has no guns, he can bust out that repulsor blaster and take out just about any target. Looking at his overall stats, he is well above average in every category, with his immense strength, incredible speed, and near invincible fighting, mixed with his extremely high durability, agility, and energy projection. As well as being above average intelligence, Deathlok is a one-man army. Having him as a part of Uncanny X-Force is a huge boost for the team, and in my opinion, a perfect fit. We did get to see a Deathlok in live action in the S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show. I believe that's the only time the character has appeared in anything outside the comics, and although it's unlikely we'll ever see him in X-Men 97, maybe they'll end up throwing him in the background like they like to do with some obscure characters. That would be really cool. And speaking of X-Men 97, Cerebro, let them know.
Be sure to check out X-Men 97 Reactions with Talent. Don't forget to subscribe.
Definitely do go check out my reaction videos. I'm having a lot of fun reacting to different shows, and I can't wait for X-Men 97 Season 2. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You gotta be a subscriber and leave comments to be eligible for any of our channel giveaways. And I greatly appreciate every one of you that does. That's all for this one. I'm Talent the Eccentric Collector reminding you, keep collecting. And until next time, Excelsior!